Are you ready for an interesting topic of conversation when it comes to making videos here on YouTube? Because I've got a really interesting one for you here. This is one that I believe is something that we all do. I think it's important to understand that you're doing it, because you kind of have two different directions you can go when you're growing a YouTube channel. And that's what that's the basis and the foundation for what I want to talk about today. This is courtesy of a conversation that I had with a buddy of mine, Jake, Bionic Bruh. Dude, thank you so much. I had a lot of fun hanging out with you the other night. And the conversation that we had stirred my intrigue at wanting to kind of cover this a little bit better. First off, a couple of updates on my life, and I have not been posting a whole lot here. Let me tell you why. It's not for lack of desire, I promise you that. It's been a weird start to the year for me. Some good things that, maybe hurt a little bit, but still good things nonetheless. I think all things are positive and we're all moving in the right direction. So I want to share that with you. For starters, I am no longer associated with TubeBuddy. I'm not going to be working with those guys anymore. And that is kind of a painful thing to announce. I was the longest tenured person in the history of TubeBuddy when I left. I believe in the history of TubeBuddy, and I was definitely the longest tenured person there when I did leave. That was earlier last month. And that sucks, but that's, the way it goes. And it's unfortunate. I am looking forward to new chapters in my life, and I'm glad that I accomplished the things that I did while I was with TubeBuddy. Like this is the other good thing. So that's unfortunate news, but that is the way we're going. That doesn't mean I'm not going to be still in the space. I will be, just not going to be doing it through those guys anymore. However, before I was no longer employed with TubeBuddy, I did manage to accomplish something, and I want to talk about that for just a moment. I have not done any sponsorships or anything. I have done some sponsorships on this channel. Anyway, I tried to limit that. I don't want to be just, throwing sponsorships and ad integrations and stuff like that into every single video. But I got one for you right now. This is the YouTube strategy guide, how to grow on YouTube. And I wrote it. So this was my final hurrah with TubeBuddy. I took everything that I had. I've been working on this for like the last 9 months. I'm really, really super proud. It's not super, super thick, but it's got a ton of information about everything that I have spent the last 10 years learning. I wanted to get it all into a book. I wanted to have this under my belt. I wanted to be able to provide this if for no other reason as, it's a reflection that I existed, that I was relevant. You know what I mean? I did something, and I'm proud of it, and I'm glad that I have finally gotten that back. It's going to be available May 1st. If you're interested, I will have a link in the description down below. If you're not interested, I totally understand that. Not gonna, pitch product hard or anything like that. I just want you to know, if for nothing else, even if you don't want to get your hands on a copy of the book, know that I've worked very hard at what I do. I've learned a lot, and I took the time and put in the effort to put that down on a paper, to be relevant and to, be somebody who is doing a thing rather than somebody who just fades and disappears. You know what I mean? I'm still at it. I'm still working hard. I hope you are doing the same. And I would love to hear from you, you guys who haven't heard from me in a minute, who have, entrusted me with a subscription to this channel. I would dearly love to get caught up. There's a whole lot of people who have not subscribed to this channel who I've worked with in the past. You'll know that, I did a lot of channel reviews and strategy stuff on here in the prior last couple of years. And so I'm hoping that you see this. And if you do, know that you're not going to be seeing me with the TubeBuddy stuff anymore, but I am still here. I am still going to be working. You will still see me at the conferences. I will be at VidCon this year. You are still going to see me in the space, and we got some exciting things coming up. You have some exciting things coming up, and that's what I want to talk about. So getting started, first and foremost, the topic of conversation for today is a conversation that I have had And so it goes like this. What happens, I'm sure that everybody has seen this. I've seen it like 100 times. It's goofy. It's something that we all do, and it's okay. Like, if you've done this, I'm not knocking on you. I have done it myself. I have a YouTube strategy channel here. And what happens is, after somebody, I'm not saying everybody does this, but I have seen a few channels where a creator makes that 50 videos, that they get to that 25, 50 video mark, and maybe earn themselves 100 or 200 subscribers, somewhere in there. And that takes a year or two sometimes to get to that point. Everybody's growth is different, but that's not uncommon to see somebody who spent a year or two working simply to get to that 100 subscriber mark. Know that growth on YouTube is not linear. If you get 100 subscribers in 1 year, that doesn't mean you're going to get to the 200 mark the next year, 300 the next. It doesn't work like that. What's going to happen is you're going to have a video that pops somewhere along the line, and all of a sudden you're going to have 1,200 subscribers, in a month, and then it's going to plateau again, and you're going to have to create that next video. And that's how growth is. It comes in waves like that on YouTube. So, not knocking anybody at that 100 subscriber mark. And also know that this is one of my core beliefs. You do not judge somebody by their subscriber count. You judge them by the quality of the content they're making. That having been said, I'm still going to knock on some people a little bit here. Sorry about that in advance. But what happens is, I see these creators who get to that 100 subscriber mark, give or take. They get to that 50 video mark. And, they took a year or two getting there. And in that year or two, they learned a lot of stuff. These are people who they spent a lot of time. If they're still creating after a year or two and they're hustling through those 50 videos, don't knock the experience that these people have got, like I'm about to do. They did learn something. They do deserve the credit for the things that they have learned. However, the problem is that I see a lot of these creators who all of a sudden they get to that level and they feel like they should begin doing YouTube strategy, YouTube coaching. They want to sell thumbnails to other creators, or they want to help people with SEO or whatever the case may be. And I don't want to knock that, because obviously I'm doing that here. A little bit different circumstances, because I dragged my feet for years before I decided, I kind of knew last year that my tenure with TubeBuddy was probably not going to last much longer. So I launched this channel and decided, what? Even if nobody else decides to hire me, even if nobody wants me to go to VidCon or conferences, if nobody wants me in this space, I'm at least going to implement myself into this space, because I know people and because I know some stuff, and I've, learned a lot of things along the way. So I'm doing the exact same thing, and I get it. I spent a little bit more time than that, but yeah, I mean, how much of a difference is there between us? I'll let you judge. But the thing is, there's also the other side of the coin, where you have somebody who has 1 million subscribers and they want to be a YouTube strategist just because they had that one shorts video that popped. Who are you going to trust more? That person who made 50 videos and is now deciding that they want to test the waters, dip their toes into being a YouTube guru, an educator in the space, or somebody who, they got a home run somewhere along the line. And all of the stuff that they're backing, their everything that they do strategy wise is all based on that one video that they had. I'd be kind of curious. I think I would actually kind of trust the person with the 100 subscribers more, their opinion. Anyway, I'm getting off basis. It's just an interesting topic of conversation. So in that conversation, you can look at me like, I'm going to be fair. Since I'm knocking on these people with 100 subscribers who are doing this, I'm going to knock on myself for just a moment. What have I accomplished that makes me a voice worth listening to? If you're subscribed to this channel, you probably already know. And obviously, I've got some things that are a little bit bigger than that. And the time that I spent with TubeBuddy, and the work that I have put in with other companies, the time I've spent at conferences and everything. I wrote a book, so I've got that. But I mean, at the end of the day, people do generally look at your work, what you put out there and what you got. And what I have to stand on, aside from that stuff, just looking at this channel, if you don't know who I am, you don't know anything about me, and you're looking at me with, 60 subscribers on this channel, And maybe you know my personal channel, which is at 6,000 subscribers. Well, anybody watching this right now, the goal is not 6,000 subscribers. I'll tell you that right now. But nobody watching this is going, man, I want to be at 6,000 subscribers. That's not a goal. That's a milestone along the journey. You want to get to 100,000 subscribers. You want to be at the million level, somewhere in there. Like that's probably, I know that for me personally, 1 million subscribers is not the goal. Like I want that play button. That's a milestone. I want to be doing this for a living, and I want to be providing an income for my family, doing something that I enjoy. And that's kind of the crux of this conversation, to be honest with you. More on that in just a moment. I promise to get to there. I promise to get there in just a moment. So what makes, on an outside level, what makes what I have accomplished worth listening to? Well, here's the deal. Obviously, you probably know where I'm going with this, that subscriber count. I don't believe that is the thing that you are measured by for your accomplishment. I think that the amount of work you have created, I think the quality of work that you created, I think that your personality, I think that the humor, the education, the effort that you put into your content, the value that you provide for the audience, regardless of how big that audience is, those are the things that you need to be judged by first and foremost. Obviously, that's a hard thing to sell. For my level, like look at me right now. You'd think if I was able to sell that a little bit better, maybe this channel will be at a little bit bigger than 60 subscribers. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. But here's the deal. So first and foremost, I don't think that is a thing that is really, that you really want to be measuring somebody's value by. However, we all do it. That's like the very first thing that you look at. So let me say this. I can confidently tell you that I know exactly what I need to do. If I were challenged, this is the way I would put it. If I were challenged with putting together a 1 million subscriber channel, and I had 2 years to do it. I'm going to say 3 years. I'm not going to say that I'm as good as some of these other guys. Let's say I had 3 years to put together a 1 million subscriber channel. I can do that. I know how to do that. I know what it takes to get to that level in that time frame. The thing is, you do too. And this is kind of the thing that nobody wants to address, and that's exactly the point of what we're talking about right now, is that the thing that it takes to get to that level is it doesn't always align with you and what you want to do, what you want to accomplish, and where you want to go, where you want YouTube to take you. Like you want to get to that 1 million subscriber level, but you don't want to necessarily do it the way that it needs to be done. Let me explain. Let me explain it from my perspective as somebody who does a fishing channel. I recently had a conversation with a gentleman who is big in the space, and I'm going to be doing some contract work for him. Really excited about that. We'll see. I may be talking about that a little bit here, but anyway, long story short, so had that conversation with that gentleman, and we were talking about what it would take to do my fishing channel to the 1 million subscriber mark in 18 months is the time frame that we were looking at. And everything that he said, like he was excited about it. He was actually willing to invest serious money into my channel because he had faith that this was a channel that could go to the 1 million subscriber mark. The problem is that the things that he was talking about don't, like, not to say I'm not going to do this, I'm definitely going to consider it, but it doesn't align with the core reasons, the foundation of why I created the channel in the first place. Here's the deal with that. So when I created my channel, this was the thought process behind it. And this is going to, I guarantee this aligns with exactly anybody who's watching this. This aligns with you. If you're seeing this right now, this aligns absolutely with your goals and aspirations for your own channel. I was working in the oil field. I know I've talked about this before. I'll keep it short, but I was working in the oil field. I broke my back. I suffered a hernia. It sucked. I had my first year in the oil field I think I had 4 days off that year. And I mean, I was working, you know, I was working 100+ hour weeks, 120-hour weeks. And it was, you know, I was showing up 7 a.m. You get off at 7, except that, oh, the job's not done. So you end up staying until 10 or 11. You finally get out of there. Only like an hour later, you get a phone call. Hey, we need you back up. Some problem came up or something like that. That happened relentlessly. I actually had a weekend where I was able to clock in 56 hours over a weekend. Like that's the kind of work that we were doing. I was making good money, but obviously I didn't get to see my family. I didn't get to, you know, do much with my life or anything. And I suffered some pretty heinous injuries in the process. We sat down at Easter one morning, my brother, who was also in the oil field, and my dad, who works in the refineries. And like we sat down for Easter and we were barbecuing and had this little bonfire outside. We were enjoying the fresh air and getting to hang out with each other. And we were talking about like, what do we want like with our life? Like if ideally, where would our life be? What would we be doing? And I am a beach person. I want to be at the beach. Like that's, if you're to ask me what I want to do, I want to be spending time with my family and I want to be spending time at the beach, you know? And on top of that, I don't want to be doing something like working at the beach per se. You know, I probably would not be a very happy person if my job was, I don't know, running a business on the beach, right? Because I'd be spending all my time at the business. Or maybe, you know, okay, so one of the conversations that we had was running like a charter fishing business. There you go. You're at the beach. You get to do a lot of fishing, right? But that experience would ruin fishing for me. I wouldn't get to enjoy fishing because I would constantly be hustling and trying to get into fishing experiences for other people just so that I could make some money. I would not be enjoying that. So, you know, the conversation kind of came around. I was like, you know what? Yeah, what I would want to be doing is I want to share those experiences. Like anytime we go fishing, it's a really awesome experience. Like you always get to see something that you've never seen before. You get to experience something. It's amazing. We were out fishing one day and caught a sailfish. And while we're fighting the sailfish, there's a storm bearing down on us and a water spout drops like a quarter of a mile away. That was like 25 years ago when that happened. So I didn't get that on camera, but I wish I did. How cool would it be to be able to share that experience with people? That was the driving force behind why I decided to start doing fishing videos on YouTube. I wanted to share that experience, and I wanted to do something that I enjoyed, that I got to spend time with my family, and hopefully, you know, get super rich in the process, right? Like that's kind of, I assume that's probably fairly similar to what you are thinking and feeling with your own channel. And on the outside, that absolutely has some potential. Like I still believe, and I know that I can do that. I can provide those videos and I can take this channel to a 1 million subscriber level. Other people have done it. We know where the ceiling is, and I know what my competition is. I just need to make the quality of videos, which I'm getting better at that, but I need to get, you know, I've got the quality of my videos. It needs to improve still. They need to improve in quality in a way that speaks to a broader audience is one of the things that I'm working on for my own thing. And then I also do need to try to improve the cadence of my publishing schedule. Right now I'm doing like 2 videos a month. One of those is going to be one of those core vlogs, but in order to right now maintain a publishing schedule where twice a month I got a long form video, oftentimes, as is the case right now, one of those videos is simply it's going to be a how to do whatever for fishing. You know, I'm just trying to fulfill the obligation of having a long form video. I have not been able to film that amazing experience that should be that second core video. So that's not necessarily what is needed in order to grow a channel to 1 million subscribers. You know, I need to be able to improve that. But here's the thing. If I was tasked with, you know, given 3 years to grow a channel to 1 million subscribers, I wouldn't do a fishing channel. Maybe, but no, I really probably would not. It can be done with a fishing channel in 3 years. but I would have to do, like, my approach to that would be not family fishing. It would be Mr. Beastification. It would be challenges. It would be the most outlandish and insane things. And that's not what I want to do. I don't want to try to fabricate an experience. I want to share real experiences, you know? So if I was tasked with creating a channel that was, you know, the best opportunity to hit 1 million subscribers in 3 years, I would focus, like right now, ideas, things that I would focus on would be a channel dedicated to unemployment. I think that would be a big one. Probably not the best paying demographic considering the audience has no job, you know. But then again, people are willing to invest money in order to get a job. So maybe it is a better paying demographic. I don't know. Something to consider. But that would be something that there are, look at the ceiling, look at the people, look at the passion behind the people who would be into that channel. There's a lot of them, and they're desperate. And they're global. So those are, you know, that has absolutely nothing to do with anything that I want to do. But I could focus on the things that I would need to do in order to take that to 1 million subscribers quickly. It's not what I want to do, but you know, what I want to do and what works don't necessarily align. That's why my channel is not at 1 million subscribers right now. Like there are some shortcomings in the content that I create. There's some shortcomings in my ability to follow a good schedule. There are just some things that they hold me back, just like the things that are holding you back. You can do that. You can take an approach, and it doesn't have to be Mr. Beastification. You don't have to fabricate the things that you do. It can be as simple as, so something that I've been working on personally on my own channel. While I can't follow the things that I would say, you know, the things that I would do for a 1 million subscriber channel. Well, I can't follow that approach per se, you know, like leading heavily with trending topics, something that that works very, very well. So that doesn't work very well with fishing. But while you don't have to have the absolute perfect trajectory for growing a channel, you know, you don't have to follow the Mr. Beast path, the path of the perfect trajectory. I think we would all be very happy with, well, you know, if Mr. Beast's trajectory is like this, I think we would all be happy if it was like this instead of this. You know, like if this is what you're experiencing right now, we'd all be happy with this, and we don't need that trajectory. So what can you do? Let's talk about some actionable things that you can do to wrap this up. Things that you can do to improve that trajectory while still maintaining a channel that you are passionate about, that you enjoy, and something that you can do, mind you, for 4,000 videos. That needs to be a goal. That's end game, 4,000 videos. Like at 4,000 videos, that's when you're like, I get to hang things up. You get to go full Demolition Ranch, who's a channel that I follow. He just retired after something like 17 years. He's been doing YouTube, and he just retired. He's like, you know what? I'm done. I'm hanging it up. I hit my level. I got what I need. He's going to be getting recurring income from his multiple channels for years on end. He wants to solely focus on time with his family. And I think that's kind of something that we all would like to get to, is that point. That point should be the 4,000 video mark. That's kind of like where I set that. So be prepared with whatever you're doing, you know, get that content out there. For one, you do need quantity. It doesn't have to come at a cost of quality. For example, I'm perfectly happy with a publishing schedule of 2 videos per month, but they need to be good videos. For example, on that, here's my approach to good videos. I was at a conference a couple years ago, and I ran into Mr. Beast. I didn't talk to him, but I ran into him. And it kind of occurred to me, like we didn't have anything to talk about. And I'm definitely not the guy that's going to be like, oh, like let me just talk to him for the sake of talking to him. I sat next to him at the bar. But we didn't have anything to talk about. And I wasn't going to elevator pitch, you know, sell him on something. but what if I could, right? Like I was sitting there at the bar thinking about that. I wasn't going to just shamelessly try to like do some kind of like stupid, hey, promote my channel crap. Nobody wants that. But what if I could? What if the opportunity presented itself? What if he turned to me and started talking to me? Hey, Stanley, what's your channel about? I do a fishing channel. I don't just do a fishing channel. I do one of the best fishing channels in Texas. And I am super proud of my work. Like, I do really amazing experiences. And what if he said, let me see, what's your channel? I thought about that while I was sitting there at the bar. At the time, I had been working with another YouTube educator in the space, Roberto Blake, and he had encouraged me to increase my publishing cadence. He wanted me to go from 1 video a week to 2 videos per week. So that's what I was doing at the time. I was doing 2 videos a week plus a live stream and some other stuff. Well, I only get to go fishing so much. So in order to accomplish that 2 videos per week, what I was doing, I was batch filming, which is an important thing to learn. Like, I do suggest batching your content. It will give you a better, if publishing schedule, if your cadence is a problem, batch filming is one of the solutions for you. And that's where you take like a day and you film all your videos. And then, a couple of days later, you do all the editing. A couple of days later, you upload them all. You do all of the behind the scenes SEO and thumbnails and all of that stuff. And then you schedule them out for, 6 weeks in advance. And I was doing that. But when it came to filming those in batch, the problem that I had was that I would go, I'm not fishing any more than I was. But what I would do is I would go out and I would make that video real quick, catch a fish. Oh, I got a fish. I got a video. I would run back to the car, change shirts, and go catch a second fish and film a second video. It's watered down. They were not interesting videos. Like that whole year, none of those videos popped for me. I think I went 2 years without any of those videos. It was a learning experience, but I went 2 years without any of my videos going anywhere at all because they were so watered down. I was trying to follow that publishing schedule. It was the most important thing in the world, but it came at a cost of content that I was proud of, to the point where I was sitting there at the bar, and if Mr. Beast had talked to me and been like, hey, I want to see your channel, well, I did not want him to see the most recent video that I had published. It wasn't a good one. It wasn't something I'm proud of. In fact, neither was the one before that. You would have had to have dug back 12 or 15 videos to find one that I was proud of. That is where I draw the line. I don't even worry about publishing twice a month. Like, I kind of force myself into a schedule. I want to make sure that I don't stop publishing. And so that 2 per month is kind of like that baseline, like that needs to happen regardless of whatever's going on. But what is most important is that if I run into somebody, it doesn't have to be Mr. Beast. If I run into another fishing YouTuber when I'm out at the beach and we want to talk about maybe doing a collab, if I am talking to another YouTuber, especially if I'm talking to another YouTuber, somebody who doesn't do YouTube, or I'm sorry, somebody who doesn't do fishing, and I want to try to sell them on what I do, I need to have that last video needs to be something interesting. Even if they're not into fishing, I need to have that video that's like, I'm proud of this. You are going to enjoy this experience. Even if you don't like fishing, there is going to be something interesting in here. Maybe it's not something you want to subscribe to, but you're not going to watch that video and go, oh my God, when is this thing going to be over? I think that needs to be like most important. That's something that you need to be proud of your work. You need to be able to stand behind it. If you can do that and then increase your publishing schedule a little bit, and by increase it, I mean, obviously twice a month is fair. Once a week is better. You're going to see better returns on what you do if you can be consistent and get content out there a lot. A lot of these guys I talk to right now, like Jake, they do weekly live streams. And That is great. I highly suggest adding a weekly live stream to your work. What you do, it's very easy. If you're looking for watch time, that is a great way of adding watch time. Not the easiest thing to hit your 4,000 watch hours, or if you're just trying to get super chats, your 3,000 watch hours just by live streams. I do a live stream channel myself. I know the numbers, and that's tough. They're a great supplement, but having those, doing like all the things is really a good way of doing it. I would suggest, so let's start with this, talking about actionable. If you are looking to increase the trajectory of your growth, the first thing that I would suggest you need to do, unless you are a strictly shorts creator, then we need to have a different conversation. If that's the case, it's a different one. I would suggest you need to have that long form video, like once a week. And it either needs to be something that follows like a training topic, right? Like if you're doing a video once per month, increase that to once a week and make the other 3 short videos, not shorts, but like 5 to 10 minute videos where you introduce a training topic and it aligns with your niche and the thing that you do. Whether that be a newsworthy event happens and you just talk about it, maybe you rant about it, maybe you provide a hot take on it, whatever the case may be, going on a trending topic and introducing that into a 3 videos per month to help supplement your content schedule so that you have that one a week. That will really help. Another thing you can do is just go completely bombastic and have fun and just create a weird video. It at the very least, you need to follow in line with your niche, with what your channel is, but you can also have fun and just go make something. It would very much help you. Like if you're publishing once a month, try to get to that figure out what you need to do, start batch filming, whatever the case may be, so that you can get that one video per week going. To supplement that, anytime you get a comment, like especially if you are under 500 subscribers, if you're under 1,000 subscribers, YouTube gives you the ability to answer comments with shorts videos. I would jump in heavily on that. It's stupid easy to do. All you do is, like, if you're on YouTube, and I think it's on the phone, so you go into YouTube on your phone, and let's see. I'm going to look up one of my videos here. I'm sorry, I'm taking some time on this, but I think it's an important thing to know how to do. Oh, come on, let's get past that. All right, so you've got a comment. And what you do is, I hope I get this right, like right here while I'm recording. I hope I don't mess it up. Right next to the comment, when somebody leaves it, there's going to be that little 3-dot menu right there. Click on that. Nope, that wasn't it. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Yeah, you go to add a reply. And when you go to write your reply, instead of writing it, you'll be given the option to film. And then you can make a shorts video to reply. They'll have the comment on the screen for you right there. And it only works on the phone. But that is a quick and easy way to add content to your channel that provides value. Somebody leaves a comment, and it doesn't matter if they leave something as simple as like first. Make a shorts video where you're just like second. It takes you 5 seconds to do all that. I would suggest making it longer. Like if they have a longer one, if they leave you a longer comment, man, leave a long answer, like talk, give them some acknowledgement. they're going to appreciate that. You have the chance of making it where that person, you wrangle them in as more of a super fan. You know, it's more engaging that way. You're also creating content. You never know when one of those shorts videos is going to pop. And I do suggest doing probably 3 shorts videos per week as a means of, again, getting some exposure. There's very little value in shorts videos, but considering that right there took 5 seconds to do, the rewards for that limited amount of work far outweigh the amount of work that you had to put into it. So, and just making shorts videos in general. Now, again, you want them to align with your niche and what you're doing, but get out those 3 shorts videos a week. If you're doing live streams, go in and clip out sections of the live streams and edit those down into shorts videos. You are going to have moments in a live stream that stand out. You probably got 3 to 5 every live stream. Jake, dude, there are moments in your live streams where everybody is just rolling, laughing. Peter, same to you. My brother. These are my friends, and these are channels that I've worked with and stuff. Guys, those live streams, you have those moments. You just got to do it. You got to take a little bit of time, go in there 1 day a week, spend 2 hours going into some previous live streams, clipping out some moments, creating yourself a swath of shorts, and then schedule those things to go out 3 per week just to start building up some exposure. If you're not doing live streams, you should be doing a live stream, if not once a week, at least once a month. You need to be doing that. But doing all of the things is going to help you, whether it be, you know, your goal right now being to get monetized. Live streams are going to help you get that watch time. They're going to help supplement the amount of watch time that you need in order to get monetized. Shorts are going to give you some exposure. Don't go heavily into thinking that shorts are going to be the thing that makes you, but it's just all of the little things, all the things all combined, and then focus on putting out some quality on your regular video content. And as one final thing to mention on this, and I should probably do a video specifically about this, you should be doing at least 3 community posts on your YouTube channel per week. Every single holiday, you need to wish everybody a happy holiday. Every Friday, you need to wish everybody a happy Friday. The week's over, blah, blah, blah. Every Monday, you need to have that post that's, oh man, the week is Monday, it sucks. Whatever the case may be. There's actually a lot of discovery in posts. YouTube shares those out just like regular videos. Check it out. Let me show you what I'm talking about with that. I'm not even going to dig into it. It doesn't matter. Long story short, you will get, like when you're scrolling through YouTube, you will get a shelf every now and then pops up that is community posts, and it is not necessarily from people who subscribe to your channel. They will share out posts to people as a means of discovery. Utilize that. Use all the things. Community posts, live streams, shorts, long form. You need to be doing all of it, and you get yourself into a cadence of creating some content over the course of the week. These are things that I would be doing if I were trying to grow a channel from scratch in 3 years to 1 million subscribers. Those are the things that they're non-negotiable. Those are absolutely things that I would be doing with that. Now, focusing on my content, making the videos that where I want YouTube to align with me and my schedule, and I want to make the things that I want to make, and I want that channel to blow up, I'm not going to have that same trajectory. But you can still do these things the way that it would be done on a professional level, and you can still see a huge increase in the growth performance of your channel, regardless of, you know, whether you're doing Minecraft videos or, you know, maybe you're still doing Fortnite stuff, whatever the case may be. This can all work. Now, there are some other things you need to be working on. We will be discussing that in future videos, because I've got a ton of things to be talking about with all of this, and I'm not going to drop it all into a single video. I will, however, drop it all into a single book. This will be available May 1st. Get your copy in the link in the description down below after May 1st. Please consider subscribing if you have not already. I am going to be dropping a ton of these podcast streams like this. I'm going to be doing a ton of videos and shorts and communities and all of the things in an effort to try to help you as much as I physically can. If you have any questions, leave a comment down there. I'm more than happy to answer every single thing that I got. Good luck, and I look forward to seeing more from you when we do this all again next time. Have a wonderful day.